All right, we got some spoops. We got some spoops and scares. We got Nexpo. Nexpo made a video. Said the fall of flight 123. So it looks like we got another spoopy storytelling chat. Ooh, spoopy. All right, here we go. This video contains real-world audio recordings, subjects and matter that some viewers may find disturbing, including the audio-visual recreation of the aircraft disaster. Viewer discretion is advised. Ooh. Oh man, oh man. Here we go.
Aboard a Japanese passenger flight on the 12th of August 1985, an alarm begins to sound. Unbeknownst to the pilots, the plane had just undergone a rapid decompression, leaving them scrambling to get the aircraft under control. Over and over, they attempt to maneuver the plane back home. However, nothing they try seems to work. The airplane is completely unresponsive, yet the over 500 passengers on it have no idea just how dire their situation truly is.
I'll take a look at it
On
later,
this
not right now.
aircraft, a structural component has undergone a catastrophic failure. A failure caused by a near-decade-long oversight. And a failure that would lead to what is now known as the single worst disaster in
Survival's
global
seat
aviation
location.
history.
Oh shit, man. Ooh, this is interesting. I like this. Oh man.
Tonight's video is sponsored by
Incognito.
As we move towards an increasingly interconnected world.
Anyways. Chapter 1, Home.
It's Monday,
August 12th, 1985.
Delta Flight 191 is under investigation after a tragic accident. A string of unsolved murders grips a small town in Washington. And across the pond in Tokyo, it's rush hour. It's the week of Oben, a Japanese tradition in which they honor their fallen ancestors, and thousands are scrambling through Haneda Airport to get home to their families. At 6 p.m., Japan Airlines Flight 123 prepares for its fifth flight of the day. This one is full, traveling from Tokyo to Osaka a little under an hour away. On this day, 49-year-old Captain Masami Takahama is training his co-pilot, 39-year-old Yutaka Sasaki, in a Boeing 747. The two are joined by a 46-year-old flight engineer named Hiroshi Fukuda in the cockpit.
If I remember correctly, isn't Boeing like kind of like has like the worst quality of like airplanes or something like that? Aren't Boeing planes like really bad?
and 521 others awaiting this trip in the flight's main
They
cabin.
do?
In every sense, this flight is entirely routine,
So this is
All
basically
is
where
going
it
to plan.
started. Question mark?
and they're just a few minutes behind schedule.
No, your mom did because she couldn't be able to handle her
Japan
fat
Airlines
ass on the
Flight
goddamn
123
airplane.
takes
She kept
off
tilting
at
it.
6:12 p.m. And as the aircraft powers through the clouds, the passengers look out of their windows to a Tokyo slowly fading. "12 minutes in, and they're nearing the cruising altitude of 24,000 feet. And just as everyone's getting settled in,
Oh, jeez. That's a nightmare, to be honest.
at 6:25 p.m., there's a deafening bang to the rear as the bathroom ceiling collapses.
Oh,
A
jeez.
blinding white light flashes. The water vapor in the air condenses to a fog, and the oxygen masks fall in front of disoriented passengers. All of this happens in a matter of seconds, sending everyone on board into an unbridled panic.
Oh, God. I assume no one survived this entire flight.
酸素マスク、宇宙風圧計タップ、バットを頭にかけてください。バットを頭にかけてください。乗務員は酸素ボトルの用意をお願いします。酸素ボトルの用意。
Put out your signal. This is an emergency system.
お客様にお願いいたします。お子様連れの方、どうぞ近くの方、恐れ入りますが、お子様のマスクを用意お願いします。
Chapter 2, The Uncontrollable. 14 minutes into the flight, 6:26 p.m. Dude, that's terrifying when that actually happens. Because you don't know what's going to
The crew
happen, to be
begins to
honest.
realize that the plane has become uncontrollable. After being granted permission to return to Haneda Airport, Captain Takahama panics, questioning why First Officer Sasaki is banking so much in one direction. He commands for him to ease up. However, all inputs performed by them are unresponsive. As it turns out, all 4 hydraulic lines leading to the plane's wings are severed, and unbeknownst to them,
Oh,
their
shit.
vertical stabilizer is completely destroyed. This plane is flying with no means of stability, and with that, their task of regaining control to land back home safely is borderline unthinkable.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Inside the main cabin, a passenger takes one single photo in which we can observe the oxygen masks fully engaged. Unfortunately, the supply is extremely limited, only meant to last long enough for the pilots to descend to a breathable altitude. What they were unaware of, though, was that the plane found itself stuck in what's known as a phugoid cycle, leaving the crew unable to control their descent, and in a way, unable to descend at all.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Over and over, the craft nosedives thousands of feet and rapidly picks up speed before the nose naturally begins to point up, recovering the lost altitude and stalling. It again dives, ascends, dives, and ascends, all while banking
Dude, that's
at
fucking
angles of up to
dude, that's
40
terrifying
degrees
as
in either
hell.
direction. By now, the crew is doing everything they can to make their way back to Haneda Airport for an emergency landing, Yet the aircraft is doing everything it can to prevent that.
28 minutes into the flight. 6:40 p.m. Altitude 22,240 feet.
The pilots have not utilized their oxygen masks, and acute hypoxia has taken its grip.
Oh shit.
The phugoid cycle is problem number one, yet posing another threat is the ever-encroaching side-to-side roll of the aircraft. To mitigate this, the crew manages to engage the landing gear, effectively suppressing the phugoid cycle. However, over the course of the next 5 minutes, the plane descends over 10,000 feet while rolling at an angle of over 40 degrees. Effectively, they achieve a complete 360-degree downward spiral over the town of Vatsuki,
What the fuck?
and are understandably losing hope as every critical second bleeds by.
Damn, that's impressive, dude, that they managed to do that.
コントロールできますか？了解。
Oh, I'm not too sure. It'll probably explain it. Dude, that's terrifying to hear, man. .50 p.m., 38 minutes into the flight, 6,800 feet.
The plane has dropped to a mere 6,800 feet. They are now heading opposite of Haneda Airport and straight towards Mount Takamagahara. Over the next 5 minutes, the crew fights to gain altitude to move away from this impending threat, and manages to climb again to 11,000 feet. False hope this is, however, as they find themselves in yet another downward spiral. This time, right over treacherous terrain.
Oh, shit. .56 p.m. time of impact. Yeah. Chapter 3, Aftermath. Ueno Village, Tano District, Japan. I assume they're going towards the crash site.
In the quaint village of Ueno, nestled in the mountainside, residents awaken to a lingering odor. In the air, Rescue and news helicopters zoom by as they discern something the locals don't. On the ground, rows of trucks and buses are on the move, while crowds gather and gaze in utter confusion. Yet, amidst all of this, hardly anyone knew the gravity of what was happening. 21 miles southwest of their location, the remains of Japan Airlines Flight 123 are burning and are scattered across the mountainside.
Oh, jeez.
The plane is completely shredded. The landscape, wounded,
Holy.
and to say that this scene was grim is a criminal understatement.
Jesus. Definitely no one survived. Plane crashes are the one type of accidents that happen that
Out of the
survival is
524
very
passengers
slim.
on board that night, only 4 survived.
Oh my god, only
This
4?
was the worst loss of life involving a single aircraft in the history of aviation.
Holy shit, dude.
This incident is devastating, and the most frustrating aspect of all of this is that it did not have to turn out
Hey,
this
Debo.
way at all. You see,
Thank you for the
just
gifted or so.
20 minutes after impact, a U.S. Air Force serviceman named Michael Antonucci spotted and phoned in the crash location. However, instead of making the call to lend support immediately, the Japanese military called off the rescue operation under the presumption that not
True.
a single passenger survived.
Wait, what?
For over 12 hours, the plane burned throughout the night,
God damn.
a handful still alive, and awaiting help from numerous aircraft that passed right above them.
Really?
Aircraft that saw them, yet they were completely unaware. That help was never coming.
Oh, fuck.
One of the 4 survivors, named Yumi Ochiai, later recalled their experience from that evening, explaining how throughout the night they could hear children crying, adults screaming. It was loud at first, yet as the hours went by, these pleas slowly faded into silence.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Some fell out of consciousness, some lost the energy to continue, but for the vast majority, this stillness signaled the agonizing death of lives that could have been helped. It took 12 hours in total for rescuers to arrive, yet by
Wow.
then, the scene was a gruesome graveyard. A Japanese medical doctor stated that had this rescue come 10 hours earlier, perhaps they would have found more survivors,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
but it was silent.
So it was burning throughout the night itself. God damn. That's crazy to hear that.
In the years following the incident, no one would fly Japan Air, resulting in the company taking a massive hit in revenue.
I don't blame them.
With this, both the airline and the Boeing company would pay out hundreds of millions of dollars to the victims' families over time. A reparation immaterial in the grand scheme of this tragedy. Even then, however, guilt festered in the minds of Japan Air employees as 2 of them, a 59-year-old maintenance official named Hiru Tominaga and a 57-year-old inspector named Susumu Tajima, would later take their own lives, with the former leaving a note with just a single phrase: "I am atoning with my death."
Jesus.
In the end, investigators attributed the tragedy to improper repairs to the
They could have
plane's
found
aft
more.
pressure bulkhead, the rear component of the pressure seal present in all aircraft. It was learned that 7 years prior, the same aircraft encountered a tail strike incident during a landing, cracking the bulkhead and rendering the plane unflyable.
Are you serious?
During repair, the engineers planned to utilize a large splice plate to connect the 2 sides of the crack, while reinforcing it with 3 rows of solid rivets.
Oh my goodness. Great. Okay. All right. Yep. Well, there's the problem there. Yep.
When done correctly, this would re-establish the full structural integrity of the wall, rendering it just as safe as it was before
Hell no.
for flight.
I don't give a fucking shit if that shit was glued on together with the most ultra mega glue in the entire world. No, I want that shit replaced. Fuck that, dude. Hell no, dude.
In reality, however, the repair did not go this way at
Oh,
all.
wow. I wonder why, huh? I wonder fucking why it didn't go very well. Oh, wow. Shocker. Jesus
Instead of using
fucking
one
Christ.
splice plate, Boeing's repair technicians used two in parallel to the crack, effectively rendering one.
Oh, you can't be serious with me. You actually can't be. They even didn't do the bare fucking minimum to do the thing. No, they did not.
Entire section of rivets completely useless.
Oh my God.
This oversight was never discovered, and the plane flew in this condition over 12,000 times.
Oh, you can't be serious with me. Are you for real? Oh my, I didn't think it could get worse. I actually did not know it could get worse. That's crazy. So you're telling me it could have been avoided. That can be repaired, yeah, if done right. Yeah, but they didn't even do the right way. Instead of doing it like, what is it, horizontal, for the plate to, like, you know, stick together to fix the crack. Instead they did it vertical, three fucking splices vertically. They didn't even do the bare minimum. Brother in Christ, this could have been avoided.
This tragedy echoes through the lives of everyone involved and is one of the most unspeakable catastrophes that should have been prevented.
Of course, they should have. It
It's
really should
hard to
have.
grasp the sheer horror of experiencing a plane crash, let alone surviving it.
That's crazy, surviving
Those who
one.
did had to endure a trauma and a loss that is unimaginable. The agonizing moments afterward, crushed under wreckage, helpless under the night sky, effectively forgotten in a blazing wilderness.
Jesus.
I feel horrible for everyone on board that fateful night, and for the families and friends that were eagerly waiting for them. Oban is typically a time of communion, an annual reconnection with seldom seen loved ones. But for the 520 victims who lost their lives that night, they were never able to finish their journey to see them. Their families awaited those that would never show, and their memory is forever stained by an incident that never should have happened.
Exactly.
That night, there was nothing anyone could have done.
True.
No way they could have known.
Yeah.
But in the wake of it all, one thing is certain.
Except the engineers who were repairing the fucking airplane, they should have fucking known. But, you know, hey, that's just me anyways.
Their memory, their lives, will forever be cherished by those that loved them, and their legacy will forever endure until the end of time.
That's crazy, though. The fall of Flight 123. Yeah, what a very interesting story about that, to be honest. Jeez. Oh. Is it like the news thing? Yeah, it's announcing it where the crash happened. Wow, that's crazy though. Yep, only 4 survived. Technically, there was more actual survivors, but you know, they they weren't there, so they didn't came 10 hours early. If it, you know, they should have been there like an emergency thing. So, but unfortunately, it did not happen. So, yeah. So that is a pretty damn shame in my personal opinion. So, it is what it is. Anyways, well, that was a very interesting video to take a look at. Well, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. Great, new fear unlocked. Let's go. Did it scare you guys? honestly, I blame the engineers for this one because they literally could have fixed this. Yeah, they literally could have repaired it 100%. They should have repaired it. They should have known, except they did the bare minimum on trying to fucking fix this thing, which was fucking crazy. So look at this. Let me see. Where's the clip at? So right here specifically, right? This segment right here, right? So they encountered a tail strike incident earlier. Like, this is like way before, right? So it hit the tail, right? Instead of like, you know, rendering the plane unflyable, instead of like literally changing the airplane to a different airplane or you know, taking this back into the hub and making sure it is spot clean and everything, you know, instead of doing all of that, right? So this little plate, that the proposed tail strike repair. So this is like, you know, there was a plate, right? So they were supposed to do this. This is how they were supposed to put, quote unquote, fix it, right? Quotation marks, fix it, you know? Instead of doing this, right? They didn't even do this. They didn't even fucking do this whatsoever. Instead, chat, what they decided to do this is what they decided to do for the plate. They didn't even do the bare minimum to do it, to repair it correctly. Well, too bad. Maybe you shouldn't own a business, in my personal opinion. Maybe you shouldn't be, you know, fucking catering to thousands of 500 people lives. Jesus fucking Christ. Think logically, for God's sakes. Only the middle one would carry the whole load. And to think those repair guys got the blood of 520 people on their hands. Yep. This is what they decided to do. They decided to do this instead of doing it vertically. Bro, this isn't even gonna hold it together, brother in Christ. Look at this thing. This isn't even holding this piece right here on the right side. Jesus, honestly, the logics of some people, instead of like separating it with three repair parts, because it's three separated things here. The failed tail strike repair. It was a completely useless repair. So it's the engineer's fault that literally caused this incident. Jesus, brother in Christ, you have a responsibility of like maintaining as much up possible as you can to make sure that everything is revised accordingly. So honestly, anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. That's pretty scary though, I ain't gonna lie. As an engineer myself, I'm kind of triggered. I don't blame you, to be honest. They didn't even do the bare minimum to repair it properly. They literally cheaped out and made it even lazier. That's the worst thing about it, is that they made it even lazier. Oh well, that just proves that Boeing has been pretty bad, because I know that, like, didn't we like recently just had like plane crashes or so from Boeing planes before, just recently. Just kind of proves that Boeing has been not trustworthy. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and peace.